Hi there. So first what we're going to do is go into a web browser. Chrome we find is the most compatible, but it can work with either Safari or Internet Explorer or other browsers. But for the time being, especially while we're releasing new developments, just stick on Chrome if you can. So you're going to type in fava dbstaging.herokuapp.com, and that's going to lead you to this page. You're going to type in your information, and we're going to click login. Now, before we do that, there's two options that we're currently starting to play with, which is giving our members access to certain functionality. Now we're releasing this and rolling this out slowly just because we want to make sure permissions and these type of things. But if we just take a quick look, what I can do is if I could type, if I'm a member, I could type in my username, the number of hours, helping with setup, the date, and what staff I have, click submit, and then it gets forwarded to that staff member for approval. So that's a nice little feature that's already implemented. We also have book a facility. Once again, you could type your name in here. Let's say we want to look at Edit Suite 1. It's going to show us our availability. It has some information about the prices. I can choose my dates, when I want it, how many hours for, and the project name. Click submit, and that goes ahead and books the facility. Now they can't cancel or modify bookings. That needs to be done through staff. But once again, this is a feature that's implemented right now. Obviously, the first thing I'll mention is that this is all branded with Fava. We're trying to get some more support and funding to help make this unique to your own project, or sorry, to your own organization. But hopefully this will work for you, for at least for testing purposes. So log in. Here we go. One thing I should mention is that this is a staging server, so it's going to run a little slower, especially on if you're generating PDFs or anything like that. So it tells me I've logged in successfully. Now this is a place to watch. It's going to give you little feedbacks when you're booking equipment and that type of thing, or if there's an error, it's going to pop up in that corner, so I can just click X on that. So the layout is as follows. So we have projects, friends, our stuff, programs, and dashboard. So everything we do within Fava, we do it off of this. So just to give you a quick rundown of what these are for. So projects, so this is the new tab we've just initiated. We've rolled out a couple weeks ago, and let's just take a look here. What it's done is that we've been using the software for a number of years, and it's every time we make an equipment booking, we put a project name. So what we're able to do is now look at those projects and organize them by project. So let's go 24/1 project and test. So okay, so we're going to see this from time to time. We're rolling out new updates every night. But if you see this, I'll give you a bit of a bug reporting form later on. But what is good to do is just note the URL, copy that, explain what's going on, shoot that off in an email, and that can be a big help for us. But what this is going to do is just organize all of our projects, and we can add media, crew information, synopsis, granting information, and that is attached to the project, which is obviously connected to the member. But this is still in very much in beta here. Now this is the next tab, Friends. This is where we do a lot of our work. So Friends, this is where we spend a lot of our time, and basically when we want to make a booking, apply for a new program, pay membership fees, pay an invoice, it's always done through Friends, which is our members. So let's type in something here. We'll go just Fava. We have a general user set up here. Also worth mentioning, obviously, that we've populated this test server with our information and our members' information. Please keep it confidential, and it's just for test purposes. Now, you can go ahead and edit, manipulate, and play with all this information. It doesn't affect our server whatsoever, so this is all dummy information. So if you want to change a name or something like that, go ahead. So I've clicked on my friends. I'll just do that one more time here because I was yapping. Click on Fava. So this is going to show me everything that's associated with Fava. And I'm going to find my member here. Click on there. So typically would have a thumb picture, but right now that's not working. We have our name, which would be if it's a real member, it would be first and last name. It also shows the username, and that was important for the information and the logging of facilities and volunteer hours on the previous feature. Address information, the type of member. So we have several different types of members: associate, producer, general, with different permissions. So that's where that can be done. Whether they're expires every year or on certain cycles, that can be set there. We also have a number of other tabs that we don't use too much, but can be handy. So you can assign education and associations, accreditation. So if there's certain pieces of equipment that they need to be tested on first, rights and responsibilities. So everything from what is their membership dues, because with our members we have fluctuating number of volunteers required, can they rent equipment, are they on the mailing list, are they covered by our insurance, etc., etc. We also have areas of expertise. Now, this is an area where when you're creating a new user, like for example, this is the page we get when we create a new user. We can put a little piece of information, all blah, 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 areas of expertise, and you can kind of go on a 1 to 5 scale on each area. Now, this isn't something we use very much, but we feel there's a lot of room to improve upon this, because what we think is if we can organize our members with and clearly state who has experience in different areas, we could then populate a member-based directory, whether it's public or member access only, showing who has experience in what. And we find that a big challenge within our own organization is when people call up and they're trying to find people to work on it. How do you connect people? So there's also a big room for growth there. Now, so that's kind of the main page up here. Also, I get warnings that pop up here. So if the user has not allowed to book equipment or their membership is expired or those type of things, that will pop up here right in the front. The other thing is I can add flags to users. So this is going to show me if, like, for example, if I need to change the account balance or add some production credit, or maybe the member did something wrong and we just want to add it to their account. There's just kind of a note system that we have implemented. Now on the bottom here, it shows our history, and then it pegnates it with here for longer history. But what it's telling me is that this is an asset booking, so this is equipment booking. Here's a flag, and if this member was registered in a program, that would be shown there as well. So first things first, let's say member comes in, they want to book some equipment over the phone. So first thing I do is ask for the membership name, quickly verify that yes, they're a member in good standing. I say, okay, what do you want to book? So I click on the book equipment and facilities. So let's say I want to book a Panasonic AC160. So right now it looks for that piece of equipment. If I need to just double check, what, bear with me here. You can get a little pop-up window here if you want to double check what accessories come with it. But let's say we want it for this weekend. So right now it's telling me that it's currently out. So it means it's out of our equipment depot. And what I'm going to do is click book, and it's going to bring up a calendar just showing me the availability. So right now, if I go into the past, it's going to show me what weekends are booked. And so I can go back and see what's going on. Now, quite quickly, I can see, okay, so Cole here has this camera booked. What this means is he's picking up on Thursday. He has it booked on Sunday, which means he's dropping it off on the Monday. So I could book it again on the Monday if I wanted to. But right now it says reserved for Upstart, which is a program that we have. So, and that program needs that equipment, so it's telling us we can't book it on that day. But let's go ahead and book something for an upcoming date. Let's say this weekend here. So just click on those days. Let's say you're going to book that. Yep, looks good. Click book, and it throws it on the left here as an asset. So let's say I'm just going to add some sandbags. This is a bulk item. So once again, I can book it on the same day or a different day. I'm going to click my days. We have 37 sandbags available that day. So let's say I want 5. I'm going to book that. Sandbags 5. Now let's say I need to change the date. I can go ahead and just update that there. Let's say we have a weekend deal, or you rent for a week, only pay 4 days or something like that. What I can do is select all of this and say I'm going to charge a day and a half for the weekend. That updates the price, so it says 3 days, 1.5 charged. Then what I'm going to do is say, if they were, let's say, registered in a class, like a filmmaking class or something like that, it had free access to equipment, and if they're registered, I could then select this program here, and then it would create the booking, but not an invoice. So they're not getting charged for it, but it still keeps track of it. I'm going to put a project name here. This is important. As soon as I type one letter, it's going to search for any projects associated with this member. Because what we don't want is, if you spell it slightly different, you have all these duplicate projects. So it's going to recommend, a certain project. So let's just see. Right now, we have a test project associated. We'll say, yep, that's our project. Click there. If we wanted something specific for the booking, like make sure it has lens cap, I can throw that. And then just click Save Ticket. So this stores it. It now shows up in my member history. A couple things I can do. I can go back in and edit it. I can view, let's say, view an invoice, and I can email that off. I can print it, which is going to download a PDF. It shows me the project name. It shows me the ticket notes, so anything that I made notes in there will come through. We have accounting codes here on the left, so depending what accounting systems you're using to track your invoices, you can customize your accounting code there. It has your asset name, the rental period plus what we're charging, how many items, subtotal, that sort of thing. What I can do is, let's say we're donating this and we want to create an invoice. Well, what we can do is we can do service in kind. If you charge for insurance premiums, you can also add that amount here. We use a volunteer recognition program called Favabucks, which for every hour a member volunteers, we give you $20 or 20 Favabucks, and that can be used up to 50% of your rental. So we track that in the system here, and can be applied, and then we'll update. I can also add other items. Let's say, we sell some expendables in the depot, like a roll of tape or something. We can add that. Or obviously, come fundraisers and this type of thing. We use this program for all of our invoicing. So we have donations in kind, all sorts of different options, silent auction expenses, that type of thing. So that can all be done here. So let's click Save Invoice there. And like I said, I can email that right off if I want to the member. That will be to the member's email address. I can do that. And all I have to do is click back on their name to jump back into their main project. So once again, I can click on a brand new project is the Projects tab. It's going to show me every project that this member, being Fava, the Fava member, has used. So what I can do is quickly click on the project. I can add photos. I can add, let's say, an alternate title. Really good film. Let's say I want to select, who was my director. Across. Let's say we want to do a synopsis. Bravo. You can add photos, PDFs, trailers, films, that type of thing. What it's going to do is, I won't get into this too much, but when you upload a movie, let's say ProRes HQ, 4K, what it's going to do is move it over to the server, compress it. You're going to have your full res version plus an H.264 web version, so you can easily download something a little more accessible or share that. And then we're also set up a service, so every year the server will actually ship you a hard drive with all the full res quick times that have been uploaded for each project, so you can hold in hand and start building your own media archive. So there's some really exciting stuff happening with this, but I won't get too far into it right now. So we're just going to click Update Project there. And So I'm actually clicking back, which I don't recommend you do, but that page just needs a bit of work there. So let's say we're going to enroll in programs. So member wants to take a one-off or something like that. So I can go through our programs. Let's say the 16mm film class. I can quickly view the program, see what's going on there, or bear with me here. What I can do is go register. Now this is an older program. It says, do you want to register? I'll click OK. So I successfully registered. So that becomes part of my membership. It can then generate an invoice and will show up in my program side. So my program coordinator can look at who's applied, who hasn't, minimum registrations, early bird pricing, that type of thing. The other thing we can do is volunteer hours. So this is where, let's say, I can, as a staff member, input, what do you call it, volunteer hours directly. So let's just click that. So, but if the member were to apply it on that front page I showed you, it would also show up here. And what I can do is just click check mark, and it's going to, do I want to approve those hours? I'm going to click yep, approved. And then it actually shows up in my account page as a credit, as a Fava buck. So that is being tracked as well. So it shows me that I now have $140 that they have in Fava bucks. Here's the invoice for the filmmaking class that's popped up from the registration I just did. I can make a payment. I can make an adjustment if something gets messed up. Obviously, manually adjust my Fava bucks. Create a general invoice, so that would just be something that hasn't to do with like let's say they break a piece of equipment or something. I can just create a standard invoice that's associated with their membership right from here. For people just getting started, we can transfer old account balances. So this is kind of like a starting account. So if they have an outstanding amount right now and you're moving over to the server, you can set that up. We originally transferred from a FileMaker database, an application. So we're going to try to find ways to translate your old information so you're not retyping anything. Your contact information, your accounts, all those type of things. Do our best to move all that over and integrate that right into your own version of this. The other thing I really like, is a nice print summary. So when I click that, this member has a long history of rentals, so it's going to take a while to download. But once that link becomes available, a little button will pop up here. I can download that, and it will show me all the account activity, the flags, and account balances. So that's really good for our accounting department to keep on top of stuff. So that is a big bulk of what the SSA does right now. A couple other tabs I'll show you. Obviously, we have our stuff. So this is a quick way to look for equipment. I can sort just by I can look just for categories, or I can just look by name. Let's say I want to take a look at our RA1K Fresnel. It's going to show us some information, when it was added on the database, serial number, warranty information, what category it's in, what its booking activity is, okay, that type of thing. I can edit the asset, so I can change prices, accounting code, this type of thing. Now, included accessories, this is really important because when we print a packing list, which I haven't showed you yet, but what we do is we print a packing list at the top of the day for each order, and that shows us all the items involved. It's not an invoice, it's more just for prepping the order. And so all the included accessory items show up on that packing list. So let's say you're renting, a Scarlett or something. It has all the little accessories. You can include that there, so you can quickly check, make sure that's all a part of it. I can also say it's being serviced, it's out for rental, or it's damaged, decommissioned. And I can add why and those type of notes here as well. So that's kind of our stuff. Now, one thing I'll show you, favtv.com/Fava. So a really cool thing we're doing is that now that we have all this information together, we can build APIs that allow us to access that information remotely. So you guys haven't seen this website yet. We're about to launch this in a few weeks. But I did want to give you a little peek on what it's going to do. So we're going to do, before, when we I wanted to update our rental equipment list, we had to update it in our database, and then our printable PDF, and then another form online. It was quite a pain, and so it usually resulted in information not being very active. What this does is actually, we built an API that can populate our website with all the latest pricing and availability of our equipment. So if I change the pricing on our converter or one of our old cameras, it will update it right away. It also tells me whether it's available that day. So I can quickly, once again, look for Ari. Sometimes it just takes a second to load. Let me just make sure I get spelled right. There we go. So it's basically showing what we have here. So that can save us a lot of time, and it's just great for members because they're getting the latest up-to-date information. So if I click on a button, it's going to show me a picture, included accessories, pricing, that type of thing. Once again, just automatically gets populated. So we didn't type any of this in manually. It's just pulling it from our server software. So we think there's a lot of potential here for membership, equipment, programs, events, these type of things to automatically populate websites and just save a lot of time, especially on the communications department. So that's kind of our stuff. Quickly see what equipment is coming in and out. So today, let's say on September 4th, we have Jeremy coming out with a bunch of equipment. I can select all of it and say, yep, it's going out and it's out the door. I can then take a look at what equipment is currently out or is overdue, what equipment's coming back in. So if we hit a Monday, we'd probably see some of that information. Exactly. So Trevor, we've got coming in on this August 3rd, and what's going out. Same with facilities. We can see activity and going out there. We can quickly get a snapshot of what is currently out of the building. So that's always nice, just to see what is out. If I click on programs, a couple different ways of looking at this. So that's the new tab up here. And click on list view. It'll show me everything as a calendar view, whether it's workshop, classes, or events. Let's say this is an old program, so I'm going to archive that. Get that out of the way. Let's take a look at one of these programs. So it's going to show me a basic description. It's going to show me the registrations. If I wanted to book equipment and facilities, I could do that. Let's say I had a non-member wanting to be part of it. I could add a drop-in registration right here. Participants, dates. I can add certain dates to the calendar of when that's happening. So pretty straightforward. Great options there. Dashboard. Once again, this is something we're going to further expand upon. We would like to have each staff member with a kind of customized dashboard that shows them their information for the day and the important information. But right now, it's just a way to view, okay, do I have any volunteer hours that are pending my approval? Do I have any flags? I can just, a way of communication, see what's going on with their membership, any notes that have popped up. I can also look at billing and payments, and this is just going to give us a long list of invoices that are either current, past due, or paid. And so there's that. Also have a page up top here. We got four smaller buttons. Reports. We have a number of reports that this can generate. I will be honest. This is, if you're coming from FileMaker, one of the best things about FileMaker is you can easily spit out a report of any shape and size. This we need to kind of code our reports. So if you had something in mind, we've built a number that would suit for our granting purposes and that type of thing. But if you have ideas for new grants, we can easily get those made. But everything from who's accessing our program and services, who we're partnering with, how much equipment we've given away, how much equipment, revenue we're making in certain areas. We work with third-party rentals, so we have members drop off gear, and we rent it on their behalf, and we split revenue. So we call that third-party renting. We can take a look at how our equipment is it being damaged off and that type of thing. So that's great to reporting to your board and your committees and being able to spot problems in advance. We can generate mailing lists, and we spit that out into, I think it's MailChimp or one of those servers. So we can easily spit out a file to populate that, account report, that type of thing. So we also have a system tab. Now this is very basic, so this is where you can customize your organization information. When you're sending out an invoice email, what it's going to say, different types of flags. So general, equipment servicing, maintenance, production credit. This is where you manage your users. Third-party owners, so this is our equipment personnel, people who have equipment that are lending it and using it through Fava. This is where we manage that. All of your accounting codes, so this is where you would create anything to match up with your Simply Accounting or QuickBooks or whatever you end up using. Project attributes, so this is a new task you're able to do is build in attributes, so that'd be tagline, short film title, year, format, all those type of things. You can customize what you can populate later. Also, this is kind of a new feature on the back of the invoice. You can customize the text that's generated. So we put our basically a rental agreement right on the back of the packing list. So they sign all the equipment they've taken out, plus the the agreement, and you can customize that here. What else? So the other button, I should have showed you this right from the get-go, but we have the help button. So this gives you a fairly detailed information about how this works. So it's certainly, if this is daunting and you're a little overwhelmed at the moment, take a look at this. This is a great way to basically understand how we think about using the software. And like I said, the big important thing for this beta test is we know the software works. We rely on it every day. It's our lifeline, to be honest, of Fava. But we want to make sure it works for other organizations as well. And we've created some workarounds. Not every application, every program is absolutely perfect. Sometimes you have to do things a little bit different. But we're interested in, does this make sense? Can you see your organization taking use of this, and would it help? And if what we'd like to do is first off get some feedback, and so positive feedback on what works, what doesn't, questions. What are things that kind of confuse you? What are some of the hurdles you're experiencing right off the get-go? And then obviously we'd do our best to then customize it if this was something a path we wanted to continue on down, cut colors and making sure it fit your organization. And then it would be a matter of past that, what features do you think are missing? Where do you see some opportunities to say this could save me a lot of time? So those are all interesting things I'm definitely interested in hearing. I hope this has been helpful. Please send me an email, favatv@fava.ca, or give me a shout if you have any questions. And yeah, I look forward to making this up as we go. This has been a really exciting project, and I can't wait to get you guys' feedback. Thank you so much.